this installation of Hot Rod Anglican Garage. In this episode, we try to solve something that's been mysterious to us ever since we replaced our Lentec transmission after being rebuilt. We have a very erratic speedometer, usually starting after the 1-2 shift. Whether we ran it on the street or whether we ran it up on jack stands, the speedometer signal coming from the output shaft speed sensor was erratic, and this is how we eventually traced it down. One of the first things we did to try to solve this problem was order this X-Tech EX350 multimeter from Amazon. I think it was around $80, and it allows you to measure millivolts of alternating current, which we hoped would allow us to assess the signal coming from the output speed sensor on the side of the 4R70W transmission. What we noticed was, coming out of the output speed sensor, or OSS, the signal was clean even when the speedometer was erratic. Then what we did is we looked further up where the wire goes into the PCM, and we noticed a damaged wire. So we then replaced that wire to try to make sure that the signal wasn't interrupted by any fault in the wire going into the powertrain control module, and I'll show you what we did. So this is the whole bundle of wires, the wiring harness that goes into the powertrain control module, and there happened to be one that was damaged, and so what we did is we broke that out by itself, that yellow wire, soldered it to the pin inside the PCM and brought it out separately, bypassed the damaged part of the wire, and then brought it back and connected it to the original wire down there that you can see looks kind of like a light green wire. And so that was the wiring fix that we thought was going to get the proper OSS signal into the PCM, but it turns out the proper, or I should say the same signal coming out of the OSS was going into the PCM all along, so this really did no good. It gave us the same result, the same erratic speedometer that we had before, so we had to look somewhere else. One of the disincentives to ordering a new PCM is that they cost anywhere from $440 to $1,600 on the internet, and then when you get it, you have to bring out a mobile locksmith to get your PATS, passive anti-theft system keys, to work with the new PCM before you can even try to start it up, and then see if the symptoms go away. So that was a little bit daunting. So what we did next was we got a bore scope and looked into the output speed sensor hole on the side of the 4R70W to make sure there wasn't contamination blocking any of the holes that are in that ring gear. There are 6 holes circumferentially around that ring gear, evenly spaced, that produce the signal from the proximity sensor. So that's the next video I'm going to show you. So now we're looking into the OSS hole, and you can start to see the output ring going by. There's one of the holes, one of the 6 circumferential holes that trigger the proximity sensor, which is the output speed sensor. We stop it and back it up, look at these holes. They don't seem to be blocked or rough hewn or anything like that. There doesn't seem to be anything amiss with the 6 holes that are the triggers. What we eventually learned was that there are 2 very similar looking OSS units that can be purchased. The longer unit on the left is for 2003 4R70W transmissions. The shorter one on the right is for 2004 and up 4R75 transmissions. If you pick the shorter one and put it in the 2003 transmission, it will give you that erratic signal that we saw. The shorter one, as shown here, is about 15/16 of an inch long. It does not get close enough to the 6 holes on the output ring to create a solid signal, especially at higher speeds. The correct one is 1 1/16 inches long, and that's the one you need for the 2003 4R70W. Here's an example of a part that does work. This OSS is a Motorcraft unit, and we ordered it from our local Ford dealership. Once we installed this, the erratic speedometer problem was completely gone, as you'll see in the next video. No more problems.